Welcome to the No Limits podcast with your host, E Willy.
Welcome back. This is No Limits with E Willy, episode number 22 with Nikki Bon. Welcome to the podcast, Nikki.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for coming on. This is small potatoes, but someday it'll be big potatoes.
Stop saying it's small, but no one knows. No one's looking.
Yeah, there's some kind of error with YouTube. I've been telling them over and over. I have 57,000 subscribers, but it just keeps saying 57. I don't know why they can't fix that.
Oh, that's
frustrating.
That's really annoying.
Yeah.
Especially when you spend all that money on those follows, It's
yeah.
like
I spend at least 100 a week on bot followers, so, and then that's all I have to show for. It hurts.
Yeah, they're not hooking.
So, Nikki, tell us about yourself a little bit, and then I want to do the 6 questions in reverse. Everybody who watches this, we usually do it at the end of the episode. I'm going to try to start doing them at the beginning just to change it up a little bit. So where did Nikki Bon come from? Where did Nikki Bon get the Nikki Bon name from, and all that good stuff?
Okay, I was like, I don't know what you want me to tell you about myself. So you're like the only person that's ever asked me this really on a podcast. I'm from Toronto. I used to work at the Air Canada Centre in Toronto. It's like the hockey arena. And my name is Nicole Smith. And when I was acting, I always went by Nicole Lee Smith because of Anna Nicole Smith was just annoying. Like everyone would make that joke, just like they do when I say I'm Canadian and they say A, and you're just like, you hate your name after. It's like, I just don't even want to tell you my identity. So, I was Nicole Smith on Facebook, and anyways, I worked at the Air Canada Centre, and this Jamaican guy who I worked with, who changed my garbage I worked in the private suites, and so he would change Gary, he would change our garbage. He was the best. And he would always just call me Nikki Bon Bon. And I'm like obsessed with Jamaicans. Like I want to be Jamaican. So like he would just teach me patois. And yeah, he just always called me Nikki Bon Bon, Nikki Bon Bon. And then my Toronto friends, I would tell them that. And then sometimes like some of them would be at a hockey game and they would come to the suite and say hi. And then they would hear him call me that. And then they started calling me Nikki Bon Bon. And then I changed my name on Facebook because of it being Nicole Smith. And anytime someone looked for me, you couldn't find me, which is like now a good thing. But back then you're like, I want friends. And then, so what happened was like all my friends in Toronto called me Nikki Bon, Nikki, or just Bon, or like it caught fire. And then I moved to LA and I still went by Nicole Smith. And then when I did stand up, I went by Nicole Lee Smith. But because of social media and people adding me, they thought that my name was Nikki. And it is, but I always went by Nicole. But then it was like I would meet people through social media. That's kind of like the only way that we meet each other anymore, right? So everyone was calling me Nikki and like Nikki Bon and all this kind of shit. And finally I was like, I didn't change my name because I'm so sick of having to say, oh, it's Nicole, and then like being like Nicole Lee Smith and people being like, wait, what? Who is that? So I just changed it. I think I changed it a year and a half into comedy, and I just was like, thanks, Gary.
Yeah. Why did you drop the second Bon and just go with the one?
Oh, because, oh my God. Well, I at first went Nikki Bon Bon, and then people would be like, oh, Nikki Bon. Like people would kind of, they liked it, but like some people would make fun of it. Like I remember this one, like, a girl got on stage and like called my name. She's like, Nikki Bon Bon. She's like, really, Nikki? You do that? And I was like, I don't know what that means. And then I was on Kill Tony and Anthony Jeselnik was on, and I did my set, and him and I forget the other comic that was on, him and her were like, the Bon Bon throws me off. They're like, why do you go by Nikki Bon Bon? Like they were like, it's not your personality. You expect like this like sort of, if you say Nikki Bon Bon, you expect like someone zany or like has like a niche or like is dancing and like this, and they're like, if you just changed it, like you're a year and a half in, if you just changed it, change it back. And I was like, yeah, I should change it back. But I also really liked Nikki. I liked it. I was like, no, this isn't like not my identity. This is my identity in Toronto. So I just took off the Bon so it wasn't so flashy. And
Gotcha.
yeah.
I like it. It works. It's a good comic name. It's catchy.
Thanks. Yeah, I like that it's like a Jamaican name. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
my
Nikki Bon.
Yeah,
Nikki
it's
Bon.
the best.
I forgot to ask you, which background do you want on here? I have some options. I usually do a background that relates to my guests. With you being a comic, I didn't really have a whole lot of ideas. But since you're funny and bubbly and whatever, I got some options here.
Oh. I like that one. That one's nice. That's like a nice little sunset.
All right, perfect.
It also makes you look more feminine.
Oh, stop it. This is my podcast. All right, we're going to jump into the 6 questions that I'm going to get to know you more and find out more interesting information about you. I have a lot of other questions about your material. I'm going to have to apologize in advance. My wife's not here, and it's chaos upstairs. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but there's a dog running around and she's screaming. All right, here we go. Number 1, Nikki. What movie can you watch over and over without ever getting tired of?
Wayne's World.
Part 1?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why Wayne's World? I used to watch it as a kid over and over again. It's really funny.
I did too.
I think like that was like the first comedy that I ever loved, and it made me, I wanted to be Mike Myers, and I don't know. Yeah, it's an easy watch. It always would like make me feel good and distract me. And I've watched it over and over and I'm still not sick of it. Yeah, definitely.
How do you feel about the Austin Powers movies?
I like Austin Powers.
You don't like it?
I do like Austin Powers. I can't watch them over and over because I think I like Wayne's World because it's like more chill. Like they have like their moments, and I guess I can recite everything. Austin Powers is a bit big. The action, if it's an action movie, it's like I can't watch that over and over and over again because. Yeah. But I really liked Austin Powers.
Did you grow up being an SNL fan?
Not really. Which is weird because I would love to be on SNL, but
yeah, you'd be perfect for
it. Yeah, that's what people say, and I'm like, I know. But I think the only reason why I didn't watch it was because when I was growing up, I was watching Mad TV.
Me too. I love Mad TV.
Yeah, I think that's our generation. Like, I wish that my mom had introduced me to it because she loved SNL, and I wish that she had introduced me to it a little bit more. Mad TV, when I was a kid, like SNL's topical, which is awesome, but Mad TV wasn't. And when you're a kid, it's like, I don't know about politics. I don't really know what's going on in the world. So Mad TV is just like characters.
Yeah, that's a good point. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with Mad TV. I wish they would have either kept going or they'd bring it back or something, man, because it was so good. I still watch clips of it on YouTube.
Yeah, it's totally different than SNL because it isn't a parody. Like, it's just characters and the same people over. It's good.
I'm not sure about this, but I don't think they did all their skits live either. I think it was all pre-recorded.
Yeah, I think
with
so.
An audience.
I think so, yeah. And then, I think so. And then I started watching SNL more when I was in high school. But then at that point, now I'm partying. So, like, on Saturday night, it's not like I'm drinking and I'm like out with my friends. So I kind of like missed it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of grew up with both of them, but Mad TV was definitely more enjoyable because, like you said, it didn't have all the politics and crap. It was more character-based. And they have so many great characters on there. Will Sasso, Mo Collins, all those people, they're so damn good.
So good. Yeah. That's
awesome. All right, number 2. What's the best practical joke that you've been played on or someone has played on you?
I was trying to think about this one. I love, first of all, like I love scaring people. It's my favorite thing
I do too.
in the world. I like if I hear someone coming. My boyfriend says that I'm not allowed to scare him anymore, which sucks because he's a tour manager and he'll get off tour and he's like, the last thing I want is to like come home to a house that I feel unstable and I don't know where you're hiding. But I guess the best practical joke was I went to camp and I was a camp counselor as well in Canada, and my boyfriend at the time went on a 36-day canoe trip, and before he left, he had like a pig roast at his cottage, and I took the pig's head, and then on his canoe trip, it was like week 3, I mailed it to him because you get excited when you get a care package, and then I sent him the carcass.
Oh, wow. That
Yeah.
must have smelled awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Twisted. I like it.
Yeah, it's kind of dark.
I kind of have a pact with my wife that she can't scare me because she's like, her and my youngest are the only two that ever really get me. I'm pretty hard to get. My dad and I grew up just constantly doing that to each other. There was no safe room to go into, and that's just how we show affection. It's so much fun.
Yeah, it's so fun.
But I tell my wife she can't do it if I'm in like punching range of her because I don't want to be responsible for hitting her out of fear.
Yeah.
Scare me, but you got to be back a little bit. So if I
Yeah.
hit you can't get mad at me.
My old roommate did almost punch me once. It was pretty crazy. It was so close. And then I was lucky with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people have a natural reaction to just swing whenever they're freaked out.
Yeah. 100%.
Number 3, if you could time travel one time there and back, which
Like,
time
do you
period?
mean, I was wondering, do you mean like while I was alive or like if I could go to any time?
Go to any time is what the question was made for, but yeah, whatever. What if you could go back any time period? You could go back any point of your life, whatever. Before you existed, after you exist, all that.
I think I want to be, I kind of struggle between the 50s or the 70s. I used to always want to be the 50s because like I liked what they wore, and it seemed, the thing about the 50s is like your emotions were hidden. Everybody was like acting all like everything's fine, and as fucked up as it is and it screwed up our parents, it seems like it would have been a nicer world to live in. To be like,
time for sure.
you know, like, yeah, like they had a lot of their own shit going on, but it was very like, we're happy, we're doing a jitterbug, like, you know. But the 70s, I think it would be the 70s just because of the musicians that came out. And it would be so sick to be a part of that era and go to those concerts, and yeah, it'd be amazing. So I choose the 70s.
Yeah. Go back to the 70s to a concert with your iPhone and record some of these concerts. That'd be pretty nice.
Yeah.
How the
And
hell did you do
definitely
that?
and yeah, meet all the people 100%.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Number 4 is, what is something that really irritates you? Like a strange pet peeve that you have?
I hate when people just come up to me to tell me about themselves. Like, I hate, my pet peeve is like if someone just comes up and is like spitting to me what they're up to in their resume, and I'm like, I never asked you. This is a one-way conversation. You don't know anything about me, and every time I see you, just tell me about yourself. And like, it's like bragging, like, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And then, or if they're like, oh, this is happening to me, and they have absolutely no idea like where I'm even from, you know? Yeah.
So just like strangers come up to you and do that? Or people that
No,
you somewhat know?
people I know, or like people I know, people I work with, like people in comedy scene, just, yeah, acquaintances, people in the worlds that I'm in, that only want to talk about themselves, and then they interrupt you when like it's someone, it doesn't even have to be interrupting me, but like if we're in a conversation, someone's like saying something that happened to them, and then the person goes, oh yeah, I you know what I did, it's always I, and then they turn it back to them, or they tell a story that has like nothing to do with that, but they try and like, oh yeah, I ran a 5K, like, just
Yeah, I feel you on that one. People are annoying in general.
Yeah. Yeah.
Number 5 is what is an item in your home that is sentimental to you for Jesus? All right, let's start over. I don't know what's going on with me today. What is an item in your home that is special to you for sentimental reasons?
So I have this ceramic dog that's like 3 feet tall. Yeah, 3 feet tall. And it was my grandma's. And when I was a kid, so I'm from Toronto, I live in LA. And when I was a kid, it'd always be in her basement. And when she died, I was like, no. I said to my mom, like, we can't throw this out. We have to keep this. And my mom was like, I don't want this stupid dog. So my stepdad drove out here because he's a hockey scout and he brought the dog. So now I have it in my house and it's really ugly, but I love it.
Yeah, the ceramic dog thing was a thing at some point, I think in the 80s or something, because my grandparents had one too. They had like
Really?
a Pomeranian or something, and they had a Pomeranian ceramic dog that looked just like the dog that they had. I
That's
always thought
amazing.
that was strange looking. It was near their TV.
Well, the funniest is that this dog, it was my grandpa's retirement. And when they said, what do you want as a retirement present? He wanted this ceramic dog, which is so weird.
Was it based off of any dog that they had that
No, no. And it's like a pointy snouted dog with long ears. Like, it's so ugly, but I love it.
That's funny. So you'd protect that with your life, huh? House
Yeah.
on fire, you got to take that one.
I need the dog. Yeah. It's made it this far.
Yeah. Number 6, what accomplishment are you most proud of?
That one's always hard. I'm like, nothing. What accomplishment am I the most proud of? Yeah, I don't know. It's so hard. I'm bad with accomplishments because I'll be like, oh, I accomplished that. And then a year goes by and I'm like, whatever. That was nothing. Like it loses the charm, which is bad. It's not good. I should appreciate it. But I guess my biggest accomplishment was getting on America's Got Talent as the character I play, Instagirl, and making it through all those rounds and making it to the filming and like a little bit on the show, because it's just like the stupid character I do, but the fact that like it got on the show was a big accomplishment because it's so hard to get on that show.
I bet. Yeah, I have a lot of questions for you about that. That character is hilarious too. I love that character.
Oh, thank you.
I seen I think you did some clips as that character, like leading up to getting into the auditions or whatever.
Yeah.
The lines and stuff alone looks insane. How tedious is that process?
So tedious. Like, the line is probably like 3 to 5 hours. You are standing, I mean, you could never do it now with COVID, but like you're standing in between these same people for that long. I had this guy behind me that like was a ventriloquist, and then he won't stop talking. And then I have someone in front of me, and like, it just, so then you get through that, you sign up, and then you go in the room. I was lucky because I had somebody, a casting director, like give me a pass, so I didn't have to even wait as long. So then you go into this room and they call this group of numbers, but you think that the room isn't too bad, but like you can't leave and get food, like you're just stuck in there. You probably sit in there for another 2 hours, and then they call your number and you think you're gonna go, and then you go to another room that's even worse than the room you were just in, because the room you were just in has like mirrors and lights and they're filming and it's like just a lot more lively. Then the other room is just like empty. It's like a gym, like a high school gym, bad lighting. And then you sit there for another hour and a bit. And then you go into a smaller room, and it's like you and 20 people, and you go up and you do your talent in front of the 20 people, and then you leave the room and you sit there and you wait, and it's like, you don't even think you're going to be doing it in front of 20 people, you know, like, wow, it's really tedious. And then you get like, oh, we might use, I'm so not allowed to say all this, but I don't care anymore. Oh, we might use you. Oh, we're not going to use you. Oh, we're going to use you. Can you keep these dates open? But we still might not use you. Okay, we're going to bring you. We'll film, but we still might not use you. Come back tomorrow. Okay, now you're sitting here. Anything could happen where you're going on, but we still might not use you. You could be canceled. Like, you genuinely don't know that you're going to be filmed. Like, you're going to actually be on America's Got Talent until are physically walking on the stage. And then even after that, like, I had like 10 minutes on stage and it was so fun and went amazing. And then they only put like a second in, you know? And it was like, yeah, it's so tedious. And the other thing too is like, these people, I did a character. So it's different for me because it's not like I had anything on the line. I was just doing a character and the employee, you know, to like add to the whole like, oh, rejection thing. But people who like actually have a talent or like think they do, I can't even imagine. Like, it's just so tedious for them, and I'd be so nervous, and it just doesn't seem like a nice thing to do to these people with talent, you know?
Yeah, I can't imagine waiting around that long to do something. Like, just the anxiety of the buildup would be enough. When you're in the line, are you allowed to leave to go to the bathroom, or how does your place get held?
You have to just ask the people around you. You have to be like, can
Hold
you
your
hold my
spot?
drinks? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's crazy. And it's like, you don't even know those people. Men, like, there's so many parents with like 5 kids that bring their kids, and the kids like in a flamenco dress. And I'm like, no, your kid, like, you should know your kid doesn't have talent. Like, don't set them up for this kind of disaster unless they like are brilliant. Do not put them through this right now, you know?
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
So you audition in front of like 20 people or so to get
Yeah.
an audition, so you can actually go in front of the judges for the show?
Oh, like you go in front of those 2 judges, and then after that, they're like, oh, wait, we want to, like, everybody's process is different. So, like, some people didn't even do that. Some people, I think, like, got booked off their tape. But so then I go to the judges. I'm in a room of 20 people auditioning, 2 judges, and then I got passed on to another room with 3 judges, and then I got passed on to another room with cameras. And then after that, I still have to do like self-tapes and stuff.
Damn, I couldn't do that. That takes a certain person that can better handle that. That's
I
crazy.
know that's why people that aren't actors, I'm like, wow, you guys are like resilient. It's so wild.
So
Yeah.
what made you decide to go as the Instagram girl character instead of like doing stand up and then adding that into it?
I would never do stand up on that show. Like, I know you're having Alex, or if you had Alex Hooper on, but like he even did it. Yeah, he did it differently. Like, he did it right, where he did the roasting and his, but the stand up, like, there were so many stand ups there. That is like genuinely giving your soul away, because like, I don't think I could ever just go on and do stand up and then be judged on it based on like what the audience thinks, this like audience of children, or like what my sob story is. I chose to do it because of, also, I'm like very vulgar, so I know I can't be on TV with my stand-up right now, but I chose to do the character only because I just saw, like, I love tricking people. I love it. So I was like, oh, if I go on as a character pretending to try and get on the show, I bet that I could get on the show that way. And it worked. So it was just more fun. It was so fun.
Yeah.
To just like play and be that character. And everyone called me Instagirl and play that character all day and not break. And like, it was really, really fun.
Yeah, I can understand that. It's kind of like having a shield for yourself too, because anything you get, any bad judgment, it's towards the character, and you don't take it to yourself as much.
Well, you know what's crazy is you think that, but then you do. So when
Really?
I got on, I got booed, which I figured I would with what I was doing, but all that booing, like a stadium full of people booing you, and then the judges, like what the judges say to you, and being like one of the judges was really mean to me. She was not nice and came after me for my age, for talking about, but she came after me saying that I shouldn't call myself a girl because I'm a full grown woman. So why do you call yourself Insta girl? It should be Insta grown ass woman. And I'm like, I'm still a
What judge was
character.
that?
It was Gabrielle Union.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm a character, but I'm also being judged and yelled at for identifying as a girl, and the booing and all of that. I had a really bad come down for 2 days. I thought it wouldn't affect me, and I was the most depressed I've ever been. And the way that she treated me, like, it really affected me, even though I know it was the character. And I made this character. I made this character because I hate girls like this. So I understand why she was like, this girl is so annoying. But there was just something about the way that she did it that it really fucked me up. And yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's sad. I don't like hearing that. I didn't care for her at all. I'm glad she didn't come back, or they didn't let her come back on.
I know it's hard because it's all controversial, right? Like it's a race thing, which isn't good. It's not good. Mm-hmm. It sucks because when I first heard that she wasn't coming back on, I was like, amazing. Did they figure out that she's really mean? And if I was a real person, like if Instagirl was a real person, she could have really fucked someone like that up. Like I was playing a character and she fucked me up. So I thought that she was I thought that she was fired because of her being mean. And then it turned out that it was racism, which is horrible. So then I was like, fuck, that was a double fuck. It was like, yeah, she's fired because she's mean. Then I'm like, oh, no, that's not, I don't want her to be like, that's, you know what I mean? Yeah. Then now I feel bad for her. Now I'm like, this isn't fair to her. But then it's hard because I'm like, you're so mean. Yeah.
What was the deal with her? You said the racism. I don't think I know about that.
I haven't read too many articles on it, but I thought that she was fired because NBC said that her hairstyles and the clothes she wore were too black.
Really? Damn, I didn't
Don't quote me on that.
I'm putting it on MySpace right now.
Look that, but I think that's what it was. Was NBC or whoever runs it. Yeah, it was because they said that she was too, like what she was wearing was too black.
So it was like a racist thing towards her. I thought you were saying like she was racist and got caught.
Oh no! It was a racist thing towards her.
Well, I'm gonna make the link about that you called her racist, so it's more clickbait. No hard feelings, Nikki. I'm sorry. I'm kidding. Yeah, but that sucks, man.
She could be. I don't know. Maybe she was racist towards me. I don't know.
Yeah, you never know. Shit.
Yeah.
It goes all different ways. That sucks, though. I don't like hearing that. That would I completely relate to you on that. That would destroy me. I don't have self-love to handle that kind of stuff. A whole stadium booing me alone, I would just dissolve like a witch.
Yeah, it's funny because I actually talked to Alex the next day. Like I saw him at the Comedy Store and I was like, yo, I'm really affected. And he was like, oh yeah, absolutely. And like he got it. And I was like, I think he's the only person that I could talk to that understood what the feeling was, where you just can't really describe it. Even though you're playing a character, it's still like, it's a lot of negative energy for one person to take in, you know?
Oh yeah. You talking about Alex Hoover?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So y'all know each other. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Small world.
Well, it's a comedy scene.
Yeah. Man, I can't imagine dealing with that. I could completely relate to you being down for a couple of days. That sucks. I wish I would have known you at that time. I would have.
I know, I mean, like, it was a character, but imagine being someone who actually thought they had a talent and gets booed like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Like,
There's so many kids that go in there too, man. I can't imagine putting my kids through something like that, especially if they're not that good. You know, they're not that good.
Yeah.
Supportive parents, we'll push them through.
Oh God, yeah. There's a lot of those.
Yeah, that shit's a nightmare on its own.
Yeah.
Man. So any chances of you going through that again, another season?
I would probably do it, yeah.
Really?
After that, like, if they were like, oh, bring Instagram back, I would do it again, because now I know I've gone through it. I'll say Howie Mandel was unbelievably nice. Like, Howie Mandel knew what was happening. I think he knew it was a character. He played into it so amazingly. It was amazing to be on stage and like have him help me to heighten what was going on. So yeah, I would do it again. I think that I really just wasn't prepared for the negativity from Gabrielle, and I wasn't prepared. I was prepared for the booing, but if I think if the booing happened and I wasn't attacked by Gabrielle, I probably wouldn't be so affected. But I think it was the boo. Oh, and also, like, I'm a character, right? So if I was playing myself, if it was me and she came at me like that, I would have clapped back and been like, oh, sorry, I was just trying to call myself a girl because that's the last time I ever saw you on TV was when I was young. So, like, you know what I mean? I could say shit. But because I'm Insta girl, I can't, because Insta girl wouldn't understand that she's being insulted, and she wouldn't ever clap back at anybody. She would just like be dumb. So it was also not being able to say anything was
in a box.
Oh, so that was it. So it's like the booing was fine. You know, I went with it, but then, and how you like, you know, but it's that being attacked that I think it just heightened it. So I would definitely do it again, but at least I'm more prepared for the booing and I got through it. You know, it was still so fun, but the come down was like unexpected. I didn't expect that.
Yeah. It pretty much couldn't get any worse, though. If you went back and did it, you've already survived the worst of it. So
yeah,
anything else
100%.
positive.
Yeah.
That's cool that Howie was good about that, because he comes off on the show like he has a soft spot for the comedians.
He does.
His background, and he's usually the most supportive of that.
Yeah.
What about Last Comic Standing? If they brought that back, would you go on there?
I don't know. I hate competitions. I really do. Like, I know I should like them, but I really don't. They don't make me feel good. I'm too self-doubtful. I compare myself to other people anyway. So to do, I mean, maybe I would. Maybe I would. It depends. But I think that it's not. It doesn't make me feel very good. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how any of you guys can do that. It's so
competitions are hard. Yeah,
it's like art to me, and like just art alone. Like the show Ink Master, my wife and I used to watch that. It's a tattoo competition show for anybody who doesn't know. They're so brutal to each other's artwork. I'm like, man, I can't imagine being that ugly to somebody about their artwork. Like it's an expression. It's so ruthless to talk crap on somebody else's their own art that they're creating. In comedies, it's art. It's just, that's brutal.
Yeah.
I guess I'm too much of a pussy. I love the voice message bit that you came up with that you do on your channel. Where did that come from, and how are you getting these voicemails? I know some are from your dad.
I got in a car crash, and my insurance called me, and the first one was the insurance lady, and I was like listening to it and was like, what the fuck? And it was so weird. I was like, what is this woman doing on the other end? Like, if you listen to that without looking at it, like, that was actually the voicemail, and I was like, what the fuck is happening? And so I just started doing, that was what, that was a long time ago. That was like 2015, I think. And then or 2016. And then I did a voicemail lip sync of it because I've always liked lip syncing before TikTok, like before this all thing broke out. I've been doing this, so I'm like, I've been doing this forever. But
That's what I was thinking when I was watching it.
Yeah, and then I just did everything that I figured she would have been doing behind the scenes, and then after that, my dad left me a voicemail, and then I was like, well, I got to do this one, and then since then I do have people send me voicemails, which is good. But I still love to do my dad the most because his are so weird. So yeah, that's where it came from. It just came from like a random voicemail, and it was I thought it was a joke. I thought someone was like fucking with me, and then it turned out that it was just actually a voicemail, and I was like, I can't not do anything with this, and it just came to me.
Yeah, I don't want to get into all your secrets of how you pull it off, but I was watching. I was like, how the hell is she doing this and timing it so perfectly? Are you playing it in the audio and then kind of lipping along with it?
Oh, yeah. So I play it. It's basically like doing a play. Like I press start, but I rehearse it. Like it takes me a few days. It takes me like a week to get it down.
I bet. It's not
easy. I press play and it's playing, and then I do it with it. And then, but I always want to do it in one take. I never want to cut it up because that's like the charm of it. When I got that 4-minute voicemail, that one was so hard. That took like a really long time.
Yeah, I bet. That's a serious skill, man. That's awesome. I really thought it was hilarious too. I'm gonna put a link to all your stuff too, so for people who hadn't seen it can go look at that. So how long have you been in comedy? When did you get into it? What made you decide to go that route with your life?
I've been doing like improv for like 10 years. I guess I started with improv, and then I didn't start doing stand-up until I moved to LA. I never thought I would do stand-up ever. It just wasn't anything that was on my radar, and my friends did it, and I was like, no way, I could never do this. And then I was waitressing, and there was just one week where 3 different tables said, are you a stand-up comedian? And I would say no. And then the third time they asked me if I was one, and they were like, you should try it. And I was like, fine, I'll try it. Like 3 different tables kept being like, are you a comedian? Are you a comedian? And I'd be like, no. So it was because of serving and people being like, you should try stand-up, that I did it for once. And Now I love it. Yeah. But the other stuff like voicemail lip sync came before stand-up. Like I was always into doing sketches and like improv and stuff. I wish I did more sketches. It's just hard to shoot, unfortunately. Yeah.
Right. If everything went like awesome with each side of it, like your stand-up career blew up or the YouTube video type stuff blew up, which path would you rather be known for, the YouTube type social media influencer or a comic?
Such a good question. I think social media influencer, I hate that word, but I would say the sketches.
I don't know what else to call it.
Yeah, no, I think that I wouldn't want to just be doing the voicemail lip sync, but yeah, Instagirl, like the online stuff, that because I started out as an actor and I still have that in me, and the lip syncing and the Instagirl, and like other characters I play, I like to make fun of things that bother me. Mm-hmm. And you can do that on stage as well, but I love getting into character. So that, I definitely would want I would want that for sure.
That's awesome. That's why I think you'd be great on SNL, or if Mad TV was still around. That'd be a good idea. That PSA parody thing you did with the celebrities too, that show was hilarious.
Oh, thank you.
I love
that. Was like, I had to like I was up till 5 doing that because I was like, I need to do this. I need to do it now before anybody does it. Yeah. And like that was timely. So I do wish like that's when you say that, I'm like, yeah, if I could do stuff like that all the time and get paid for it, I would stay up till 5. I would do, it's so fun to just like hop on that and get into it. Yeah.
Yeah, you have a gift for that for sure.
Thank you.
Who are some of your favorite comics to watch and listen to?
To be honest, I really do love Louis C.K. don't care that he jerked off for people. We all knew he was jerking off for people. We really did. All the comics knew. When I started comedy, someone was like, oh, he asked if he could jerk off in front of me. And I said, yes. And so when it came out that he was doing this and then he got canceled, I was like, we knew it was happening, and that doesn't make it okay, but there's a lot worse things that are happening in comedy, and he's asking. So when I say Louis C.K., I know it's controversial, but at the same time, I'm like, he knows who he is, and he knows, you know, he talked about it on stage. Everybody wants to just laugh at him, but they don't want to like own up the fact of the type of person he is and then be like, oh, he is that. And I mean, I have to be careful with what I say, but then I'm also like, whatever. But, you know.
I wouldn't worry about that because I'm going to make the link extremely controversial. Nikki Bon calls Gabrielle Union a racist and supports Louis C.K.
Louis C.K., this is good. This is going to fucking blow up.
You're going to get me way more than 57 subscribers.
So Louis C.K., I love Ali Wong. Honestly, I love Will Ferrell. I know it's not stand-up, but I love Will Ferrell. Like, just looking at him makes me laugh. I still love comedic actors like that are just so good at characters. Yeah,
he was definitely put on this planet to make people laugh. He's a funny son of a bitch. His face alone is so hilarious.
His face, everything he does, it's amazing. Yeah.
He's one of a kind for sure. What about like early on? Who inspired you to go down this route? Who did you look up to in the comedy scene?
Mike Myers.
Mike Myers.
Yeah, I remember in elementary school they did a project of who you could meet if you could meet anybody. Anyone, dead or alive. And I was like, Mike Myers, which makes me so Canadian. But also, yeah, it was his, Mike Myers and Robin Williams, actually. I keep forgetting Robin Williams. Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, yeah.
That was another go-to that I would watch over and over. I wouldn't really watch it over and over right now. Actually, I might. It's a bit softer than Wayne's World, but Robin Williams and Mike Myers was the character stuff. And I remember seeing Robin Williams stand up and one of the videos, and the way that he was like moving and doing like all these like weird things. I was like, that I can do that. That is me. Not I can do what he does, but it like made me realize I'm like that. Like that's what I couldn't think it like the way he was, but it definitely was inspiring because I felt like that was a route that I could take. But it's funny because I don't act like that on stage. I act like that on camera, but I don't act like it on stage. I have a different persona.
Yeah, those are good. I just showed my little girls Mrs. Doubtfire recently for the first time, and they loved it. They want to watch it all the time. I'm like, man, that's so cool. It still holds up to kids.
Oh yeah, they'll probably watch it all the time.
Yeah,
so good.
It is. He's got a lot of good movies. I really liked Robin Williams when he played creepy characters too. That one movie he did where he's a film developer. I think
photo booth or photo lab, something. Yeah.
That's such a creepy movie. He does such a good job with that freaky character.
Yeah, he does. He's so good.
Insomnia with Al Pacino too. That was good too.
Yeah, for sure.
He was a talented man for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Nikki, that's all I got for you. Where can my mom find you and support you? She's the only one that watches my podcast.
You can follow me on Instagram at Nikki Bon. And I have a podcast where I'm teaching my dad, who just came back into my life, how to be a father. And it's called Whoa Dad.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really funny.
I got to catch up on that.
Yeah, it's real good. It's good for like people who are bastard children like me, but also dads, single dads who are trying to like have a relationship with their kid. And if you just want to laugh, because my dad is such an eccentric dude. He's a drummer, and like I basically am teaching him, like being like, Dad, you didn't do this. Why didn't you do this? And then he'll say his side, I'll say my side. But then we also do activities together that I missed out on, because I'm like, yeah, it's really fun. So that's on everywhere you can get your podcast. But if you go to nikkibon.com, all my stuff is on there too, or my YouTube channel. Yeah.
Who came up with that podcast idea? Was it you or your dad?
It was me.
He was okay with it? He was down to do it?
He was like, he's like, okay, whatever you need. But then like the funniest thing is now he calls me up. He's like, I don't want you to use my name. I'd rather you use Bobby Mosquito. I was like, what the fuck is, no, first he wanted Bobby Bun. And I was like, you sound like a stripper. He's like, okay, what about Bobby Mosquito? And I was like, Bobby Mosquito? No. And he's like, yeah, if that was a rapper name, that'd be really cool. Mosquito? I was like, yeah, but you're not a rapper. And so he now all of a sudden, after it's all done, and I've spent 6 months working on it, editing it, now he wants me to change his name and take out all this information. And I'm like, no, you agreed to this. It's just so funny. So
funny.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to listening to that. We're gonna start. My wife and I will both listen to it together.
Oh, awesome. Good. Cool.
And my mom. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
She's the only one to watch us. I have a full family, and my mom's the only one who supports me. When I get monetized, she's the one that's getting all the cool stuff, though.
Maybe your whole family could support me instead if they're not supporting you. So
that works. As long as they're supporting somebody.
Yeah.
All right, Nikki, thanks so much for coming on and doing this. It's a lot of fun.
Thanks for having me.
I look forward to more of your material coming out. You have any gigs coming up, or is COVID messing all that up?
No, I just did a show last night in a park, and I'm doing a show in San Diego on October 22nd.
Okay,
so
cool. That's all on your website too?
No, but it should be. Now that you said that, I'll put it on.
Yeah, get it on there.
Okay, cool. All right, thank you. Bye.